What is up? Welcome to the Crystal Hive. It's Wednesday again. Oh, wrong page here. Just gonna close that out. Cool. Welcome back. Thanks for joining. Got a couple new cool things going on this week. If you'll check my page, I finally took the time to set up some of my Twitch panels. So check those out. I've got a link to my YouTube, which all of my videos are archived and posted there immediately after streams end. And exciting news for next week, I'm actually going to be streaming 2 days a week. I'm going to be streaming as usual Wednesday nights, and then I'm going to hop on Fridays in the morning. Try and give some people some more chances to stream with me, watch my games, play against me, just producing more content with the game that I friggin' love. So you'll also see, I added my song ticker back down there. Still just trying to add new things every week, so let me know what you like, what you don't like. I'm going to be hopping on to a new deck today. Couldn't resist the urge to buy a few today. So my stream originally was going to be me just cranking out some test games for Chainbound events this weekend. I'm going to play 1 or 2 games with this new deck just to see what it's about, and then I'm going to hop back into my Chainbound grinding and testing. But my new one is called the Misses of Goodburg. It has 20 creatures, 13 actions, 2 artifacts, and 1 upgrade. Its SAS rating is pretty low. I just got this deck today, so sometimes the SAS ratings take a while to update, but I think this one looks about right for what the deck has in it. However, it just looked like a deck that was super fun, and I wanted to give it a shot. The main thing that I'm excited about, I have 2 copies of 2 different rares. So in Sanctum I have Vimos Lightbringer, who's on play, destroy all elusive creatures. Excuse me, still getting over cold. And then Untamed, I have 2 Briar Grublings, which is a card that I've never had in a deck before. And it's power 2, and it has a hazardous 5. So if anyone tries to attack it, it does 5 damage before the fight even happens. It's got some other cool stuff going for it, but let's just go ahead and hop into a game and see what happens. Sorry if I keep popping my mic off during stream. Try not to cough in people's ears, so bear with me. Just waiting for people to join here. I also rearranged my stream setup, so things, I might be looking at the wrong screen at the wrong times, trying to get used to where I moved everything to. So just bear with me. Thanks for helping me grow and joining along with me on this journey. Ooh, interesting. Someone joined, didn't even load a deck, and left. Alright, we got a taker. Let's get to it. And then I'm gonna increase my card size here in a second once everything's all loaded in. Alright, I'm gonna increase. I have to always change my card size when I play on my laptop versus my desktop, just as screen size. But I'm gonna play with the Untamed background here. Why? Because I feel like it. So let's see what I've got. I have pretty terrible spread of cards here. 3 Untamed, 3 Shadows. I'm gonna mulligan. Mostly all Shadows, so let's just pop a whole bunch of cards down. I think I'm going first though, so I'm gonna play Untamed and play my Briar Grubling. This is the rare that I was talking about. 2 power, no armor, hazardous 5. And it's I love its flavor text too. It says, "Nature says do not touch in so many creative ways." End my turn and see what my opponent does. So again, I'm playing the Misses of Goodberg, and my opponent is Z Guadalupe, the Gulch Viceroy. So I'm going to play Shadows here. I have a Miasma. I'm just going to play it for the bonus amber. It's really early, and I should be able... I have 2 in the deck, and I should be able to get through my deck. I'm going to play One Last Job first, because there's no amber to steal. And I'm just going to dump everything in the hopes to see a better hand. So that turn gains me 3 amber anyway. 2 bonus amber from One Last Job and Miasma, and then Silvertooth came in ready, and I reaped with him. This deck also has 3 Snufflegators, which is a riot because I have a ton of Skirmish and Hazardous. Let's see. My opponent plays Poison Wave, so knocks out my Briar Grubbling and my Silvertooth. Also does 2 damage to his own mother. I don't know why did you do that to your mother. But he plays a Silent Dagger on mother. I don't like that. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to play Untamed. I'm going to play Regrowth to grab that Briar Grubbling back. And then I'm going to play both Snufflegators. Then the Briar Grubbling. I'm going to play Nature's Call. I can return up to 3 creatures to their owner's hands. I'm going to return Mother, which will discard the Silent Dagger. Return Naughty the Thief so he can't use her. And then I'm going to return my Bruno to pseudo heal him. It'll take the damage off. And then he'll be back in my hand. And now my opponent has Amber that I can actually capture. So I have a few plays here actually. Well, not anymore. Because he just stunned my board. I was going to say I could Reap with Untamed and play Chota Hazri to forge a key out of turn. Or I could play more defensively and claim Shadows. Double Ganger Chieftain. Oh no, Ganger Chieftain and a Valder. Well, let's see. He's on 2 Amber. I think I am going to play Shadows. Let's just dump a Secret Needle into that Valder. Put it a little closer to death. I'm going to pop a Bruno out. And then I'm going to Pawn Sacrifice the Briar Grubbling to hit that Valder. I'm just going to kill that other Valder too, now that I think about it. I've already played 1 Miasma. I don't want to play the second. So I'm going to hold this one. I don't want both Miasmas being in my discard pile for probably 3/4 of the game. So I'm just going to hold that one. Whether it's a good choice or not, we'll find out. I'm still figuring out this deck. Alright. So he plays Shadows. Drops the Skeleton Key, Dipno Spymaster, so he can choose on any turn to use any friendly creature that they want, which is a pretty cool ability. Annoying for me. Excuse me. I think Untamed's probably my best choice here. I'm gonna play my Chota Hazri out now. Because I can't lose any Amber. So it's actually the best to play him when I'm not trying to forge. And then I'll play my Snufflegator and my other Briar Grubbling. And end my turn. So the nice thing about this deck is it has 20 creatures. One of the reasons I was most excited about playing it is it's a deck that it's my deck that has the most creatures. I've never had a deck with more than 16 creatures that was viable. Most of them that are over 16 creatures, which is the low end of the curve for most decks. The decks that are over 16 creatures that I have, their consistency is like negative 0.5 or worse. Hey, thanks for checking out the stream. I can't see who's watching, but I appreciate it. Thanks for hopping in, checking me out. Let's see, so my opponent's playing in Brobnar. Looks like they're just trying to clear my board a bit. I do have a Vemos Lightbringer in my hand. The unfortunate thing is it would kill my old Bruno. And I don't want to do that because that's going to give them 3 amber, but it would kill 2 of their creatures. Actually, I think I might just play it. I think I'm going to wait on it. Hey, thanks for checking me out, Kaylee. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. Let's go Vault Keeper so he can't steal on my Amber. Then I'm going to play Raiding Knight. I'm actually going to hold my Vemos and my Take Hostages for my next turn to see what my opponent does. He's going to play Logos. He hasn't played Logos in a while, so I'm curious what he's drawn into. Pops out a Dexter, Bat Drone, and a Mother, and a Quixo. So lots of stuff. So he's holding on to some Logos for a while. See, I just knew who was watching, Shelly, so that's who I was saying hi to. I just forgot to come back and say hi to you too. Well, thanks to both of you for checking me out. Well, this puts me in a weird... I've got 2 Vemos, and the Vemos is only going to kill Dipno and Naughty. They're also on 0 Amber, though. Oh man, this is a rough choice. I think I just say... Man. I do need to control their board a little bit. But I also need to get cards out of my hand. Let me play Sanctum. I'm going to play Take Hostages. Just for a bonus Amber. I'm going to Reap with my Raiding Knight. I'm going to play a Vemos to kill all elusives, which kills my old Bruno. But I'm not too worried because I have my other old Bruno in my hand. I also have Spirit's Way, which really hurts me right now. And doesn't do would leave him and me with both with 1 on the board. So we'll just see if his board gets out of control before I decide what I'm gonna do. If not, I might just have to start reaping with my Untamed house or my Sanctum house because I have 2 of each. So he plays a Fogify. He's got 2 Quixos. I didn't see who he fought against my Raiding Knight. Bat Drone's gonna fight my Raiding Knight. Kills my Chota Hazri. Mother the Reap. So the hard part about this playing this deck is I don't know its ultimate strategy. It takes me, I'd probably say about 5 games to notice what a deck really wants to do. So this first game I'm just playing the cards that look the best, and I'm not really setting up for any combos because I don't really know what the combos are. So I think I'm going to play Shadows here, do some Amber control, get a bait and switch off here. I'll steal 2, and then I will have my old Bruno take the other 3 and capture them. I'm going to play a Seeker Needle to kill this Ganger Chieftain, gain an Amber. Call it quits there. Keep holding on to my Miasma for when I actually need it. So I'm drawing some of my more interesting control here. Vigor and Booby Trap. Vigor would be nice if my Raiding Knight survives. Booby Trap will be nice to probably hit his mother with it, because then I can finish her off with a Seeker Needle. Getting kind of a glimpse into my head here. I think a turn or 2 ahead every time, and then I always have to change it because my opponent always screws it. Vigor, here, I'll pull it up. It is bonus Amber, and on play, it's an action. You heal up to 3 damage, and if you've healed 3 damage, you gain an extra Amber. I've used it on opponents more than actually my own creatures, and it's a cool effect because it gets you 2 Amber. Untamed's all about their burst Amber. And I think I'm just going to have to board wipe here. He's getting way too far ahead. Yeah, I'm going to have to hit Sanctum here. So I'm going to Reap first. And I am just going to dump the board. I'm going to play... Doesn't have a lot of cards left, so I'm going to go ahead and play my Vemos out. And I'm going to put a tank. I'm going to make my Briar Grubbling tank. Gets +1 armor, and he has Taunt to try and protect my Vemos here. Yeah, right now my most favorite house in terms of fun is Mars. I am obsessed with Battlefleet combos. Battlefleet's just a cool card that when it really pops off, it's hilarious to play it. Doesn't necessarily make it a super strong play, but to just be able to draw 4 or 5 cards and then play 5 to 10 cards total is just hilariously fun. In terms of Untamed, I've not had a lot of decks that have a good Untamed suite. That's why I was really excited about playing this deck. Untamed, I have some cool combos with Chota Hazri and Nature's Call, which I could use I could return Chota Hazri to my hand and then play Chota Hazri again to forge 2 keys off turn. Problem is, this deck doesn't have a ton of bonus Amber, so I have to be able to maintain board state to do that. So I'm really just trying to feel which house is the strongest in this deck, and then try and find the best combos for that house. Well, do I want to kill the Bat Drone or the Umbra? Because I think I'm going to have to go Shadows here. Yeah, I'm going to go Shadows. I am going to play Booby Trap to hit Dodger. So Booby Trap, bonus Amber, I choose a target that's not on a flank, I do 4 damage to it, and then I splash 2 damage to each of its neighbors. So it'll put Dodger killable with the Seeker Needle. Outright kills Bat Drone. But I'm actually going to use the Seeker Needle to kill Nexus, because I don't want him to start using my Seeker Needle against me. And then Dodger, to fight and steal, has to fight the Briar Grubbling, which the Hazardous will kill the Dodger. Hope I didn't talk through that too fast. I'm going to play an Umbra to the left, protect it with the taunt. I'm going to end my turn there. I'm going to still hold my miasma. Full Moon or oh man, blanking it. Hunting Witch. Every deck I have with either of those cards has maybe 3 or 4 untamed creatures. This just feels so bad. But John Smith is crazy. I have a deck with 2 John Smiths and 2 Ulig Megamouths in Mars. And Ulig Megamouth allows you to use an out-of-house or out-of-Mars creature. And then I have some Sanctum creatures that allow me to use an out-of-Sanctum creature. So I can just loop those 3 creatures over and over and over again to the rule of 6. If my opponents let me set it up, it's bonkers, because I can get somewhere, I think it's like 18, 19 amber per turn. It's really dumb if I can get it set up. Problem is, that's the only combo in that deck, so if I don't get set up, I just lose. Let's go with... I think I want to play Untamed here. Just gonna Reap. I will play a Niffle Ape. Then a Ritual of the Hunt. This is the Untamed version of the artifact from Sanctum called Sigil of Brotherhood. Sigil of Brotherhood, you must be in House... Or sorry, it allows you to use any House Sanctum creature. This does the exact same thing, but for House Untamed. And it's Omni effect, so I can trigger it whenever I want. Can't heal anything, but I just wanted the bonus amber from Vigor, and call that good. So I drop my chapstick. This deck definitely is a more card game terminology. It's a mid-range deck. So there's rush decks, which generally get a key within the first 2 turns. And then they maintain that pace. So most rush decks can forge 3 keys in less than 10 turns, which is crazy. They often have a ton of bonus amber or a ton of steel, and another option is they have a lot of forge out of the forge step. Mid-range, they take a little while to get set up, and they're really adaptable. They're my favorite type of deck because they can adapt to however your opponent is playing. I said that word, however your opponent is playing. They lose almost indefinitely to rush decks. They can usually stay toe-to-toe with mid-range or what I call swarm decks. That's just decks that have a ton of creatures and just can constantly keep creatures on the board. I'm going to stop talking and actually take my turn. I'm going to play Sanctum. I'm going to play Commander Remiel. I'm going to Reap with Vemos. I'm going to play Sergeant Ezekiel to the left of Vemos, which allows me to ready and fight. So I just ready, I attempt to fight, can't, so it stays ready, and I Reap. And then I'm going to play another Commander Remiel. I'm going to hold Spirit's Way, obviously, and then I'm going to hold take hostages in case I need to do some amber control next turn. Five viewers. What? I'm blown up. Thanks everyone for checking me out. Leave a comment. Join us in chat. Check out my YouTube. Debating setting up a Facebook. I know it would really help grow the community to have a specified Facebook. I'm just doing it out of my own personal Facebook right now, just because this is just something fun to do. Not monetizing any of this. So just that I even have 6 viewers without promoting myself just feels great, and I really appreciate it. So thank you. I'm going to say Sanctum, and I'm going to play Take Hostages to fight with Vimos. Just to get my Sergeant Zakiel back, because he had Harland Mindlock. He did say GG, but he kept playing his turn, so I'm just going to play the rest of my turn too. I'm going to play this out. I'm going to Reap, which allows me to use a non-Sanctum creature, so I'm going to Reap. I'm going to Reap again. End my turn. Sitting on 10 amber, 2 keys. My opponent has 1 key, 0 amber. For those of you that haven't hit subscribe, if any of you are watching and you like my content, I don't do anything crazy. Haven't had enough viewers or time, honestly. Time is more the thing to warrant any type of special events or giveaways. Monetary ability to be able to do giveaways is part of it too. So I just broadcast this game because I play it for fun, and I absolutely love this game. Alright, that's 1 win for this deck. Nothing too fancy, actually. I wasn't able to do any crazy combos, but that's definitely a deck worth checking out some more, so I'm going to make note of that. I am, however... I don't think I have the deck list on here. Let me pop this up real quick. I'm going to get my deck list going for this deck that I'm going to play. Just don't want you guys checking my passwords, that's why I'm doing this. So I gotta do a quick download to get this deck list and everything so everyone can look at it. Bear with me, screen's gonna go black here for a second. You get to watch the whole stream process here. Alright, cool. Here we go. So I'm going to be playing a deck called the Vault Keeper that hustles Tungsten. So, played a couple games with Mark before. We did a cool trade. Traded some decks that were roughly equivalent on all the scores, and very different playstyles though. This one's all about Amber control and board control, which I love. I love all types of control. And I traded Mark a Amber Rush deck, Explosion in the Honestly Iron, which I think I have a couple of videos of me playing. It's a strong deck, but we owned basically each other's type of deck. Mark loves Amber Rush, I love control, so we just did a nice trade. I've been in love with this deck. This is the deck that I am testing to see if I want to play it at my Chainbound event this weekend. Pretty normal curve. Its own Amber production and efficiency are awful according to the scores, but my Amber control is off the charts. It's +8. So we're gonna see what all it can do here. There's some cool combos that I hope I can get off to show everybody. Spoil the news for anyone going to the Chainbound event in my local area. I'm gonna mulligan because in my starting hand I had a 2/2 hand, 2 from each house, which just feels awful to start the game because with my luck I always draw the 2 card. If I were to play, let's say 2 cards from Brobnar, I would just draw right back into 2 Brobnar cards, and then you can't cycle your hand. You're stuck in this weird loop. My opponent plays Library of Babel. So my deck name is the Vault Keeper that hustles Tungsten. It's Brobnar logo Shadows, and I'm playing against Scientist Anna Yundaglin, and it's also Brobnar logo Shadows, so this should be interesting. Sorry, just spacing out here. I think I want to play Brobnar. Just get some board presence here. The reason I don't want to dump my Logos is because this deck does have a library access. So if I can somehow manage to get a library access turn going, I want to maximize that. I don't want to use that as a reason to screw myself over though. I want to, if I have to play Logos, I'll play it. I don't want to just sit on library access and keep my hands tied. Okay, so Moon Cursor is going to end up just killing my Valder here. So I'm just going to get use out of her while she's out. And I will reap. Just end my turn. I wish I could turn my webcam. My cat sits, well, one of my 2 cats sits outside my office. I've got the doors closed. Fiance's watching TV, and cats usually wrestle all the time this time of night. And she sits right outside the door guarding it. So anyone that comes by, she like growls at him and chases him away. She's trying to protect Dad while she's working, or while he's working. And I love that idea for prize support about custom decks. I don't know when I'm going to be able to make those events. I know there's one this weekend that I'm not going to be able to go to because I'm committed to the one closer to my house. The problem is I live way in the middle of nowhere, so I have to drive quite a bit to these events, and sometimes I just can't make them by the start time just to do my work schedule. But I'm going to play Logos here. Opponent has more amber than me, so I steal an amber and draw a card. I'm going to play a Dr. Escatera, play a Dexter. I'm going to discard my Effervescent Principle because it's going to hurt me to call that good. I love what they're doing with Keyforge promo items. Whatever, I can't talk tonight. With the promo decks about just saying like so and so or whatever name of the nerd store or of Haunted Game Cafe. I just think that's a really cool bragging rights. Yeah, people can buy eBay tokens. People can ultimately buy these decks secondhand market, but just to be able to win one of those just feels, to me, it would feel really cool. Like, yeah, I won that at a local tournament, and now I have this deck to brag about it. Oh man, this is an awful Brobnar hand. 2 Coward's Ends and a Tremor, so I'm just going to play my Tremor, lock out his Shadow's House, play my Bilgrim Avalanche, end my turn there. So this was the combo that I'm talking about. That's super fun to get off. The Loot the Bodies with Coward's End. It's obviously better when my opponent has a ton of creatures on the board. Even though my Brobnar suite has a decent amount of big creatures, if I can pull off the Loot the Bodies and Coward's End play, my record for this deck is... I think it was 27 Amber that I gained in one turn. It was a combination of my opponent having a whole bunch of Amber captured, but they also had, I think, 16 creatures on the board. So if I keep looking over here off screen, one of my cats is tall enough when she stands up that she can reach the doorknob, so she could actually open the door. So I gotta make sure she doesn't sneak in here, because she'll try and climb on my lap and attack my mouse and all that stuff. Let's see. I think I am gonna end up playing my Coward's End trick here. I'm gonna reap. Play loot the bodies. Play a Coward's End. Oh, I can't. Oh, they played Scrambler Storm. I'm just gonna discard it. That's what I get for talking too much. Probably should have discarded Smith too, but... So they played Scrambler Storm, which is a Logos card that prevents your opponent from being able to play actions. I even looked at their discard pile. So I ended up discarding Loot the Bodies too. I basically just threw this game away. Quality Keyforge playing, brought to you by Brian. Alright, what am I doing here? I'm going to play Logos. I'm going to archive a Coward's End, get that out of my hand, play a Dexter, keep going. I'm just still getting loosened up, still getting ready for all this Keyforge playing here. God, that was awful. Alright, so he's got Pingle Who Annoys out, which is actually going to be a pretty hard counter to my Coward's End, because anyone that comes in play takes 1 damage. Man. Let that be a note to you, children. Pay attention when you play card games. It'll help you play better. Let's see. I think I'm going to play a Shadows turn. I'm getting some pretty bad card draw. I'm getting a lot of 3-2-1 hands. And they're not meshing well with the board state or the game state. And I can almost infinitely say that this is already a loss. And not because of my misplay, but this guy just got off the ground running really quickly. So let's go ahead and play Shadows. Nope, no archives. Subtle Maul. Let's play a Lights Out for Pingle Who Annoys. And who else do I want to bounce? Let's bounce Moon Cursor. And then play Bad Penny, because Bad Penny would just keep bouncing because Pingle Who Annoys does 1 damage every time. I could be that guy and concede. All he needs to do is reap 4 times and he wins. I have no steal right now. This match doesn't feel good. This feels awful. Yep, that's GG. Did exactly what I needed to. Alright, let's just concede and pretend like that game never happened, despite the fact that it's going to be on the internet for the rest of the time. Let's hop into another one. The reason I'm testing this deck tonight is I've played it quite a few times. The Captain of Fungus deck, I've played it. It went 3-0 in another Chainbound event, so it's got 3 chains. And just debating if I want to play a chained deck again and keep chaining it and growing the power level of that deck, or if I want to play a different one. So we'll just see. Now that I'm streaming this deck, it's probably going to be awful, despite the fact that I think I'm like 18-3 with it online. Gonna mulligan, see what I can do here. So I do get my library access. I'm gonna start, I am first player. I'm gonna start by just dropping a Screech Bomb here. Got a Smash and a Lomir Flame Fist. Looks like we're playing... Yep, so we're both playing the same deck, so I'm actually playing the same opponent this time. Fingers crossed that this isn't as embarrassing. Plays a Scrambler, Storm, Wild Wormhole, and Fogify. That seems like a pretty solid start. So I'm just going to play Brobnar, because I can't play events. Just going to drop my Lomir Flame Fist, and I'm going to drop my Smash. And then just, doesn't matter which one I stun, they both have the same power. End my turn. Not a fan of that song. Let's get to the next one there. Let's go play a Dodger. Again, so I've got a 3-2-1 hand. You can complain about it all you want, it's just gonna happen. Problem being, do I want to leave that Magda there? What do I want to do? I'm trying to think out this turn. I think I'm going to play Brobnar. It's done. I'm going to just Reap, play a Bumpsy to steal one, or make my opponent lose one. Call that good. Because I have a way to, with Lights Out, bounce that Magda off the board and steal 2. And I can make my opponent lose 2 with Screech Bomb, so I feel like I have an okay amount of Amber control right now. We'll see what happens. So he plays Masis Asp, so I'm going to have to get rid of that. Skirmish Poison, power 3. Feels pretty bad when it happens against you. But I think I'm gonna play Brobnar to get the Smith off. So I'm gonna Reap with Bumpsy. Do my first fight with this Smash against Magda, so nothing happens. And they do a second fight with Lomir against Magda to kill her. Which keeps me with more creatures. And then I can play Smith for 3 Ember here. Smith's a fun card. A lot of stipulation to it where I have to have more creatures on the board than my opponent. But if I can tweak things like that, or sometimes I play it after Coward's End and just drop 1 creature, it's a pretty cool Brobnar Amber Burst. Excuse me. Alright, Positron Bolt. So he's got some damage out of hand coming here. I'll probably be playing Shadows. I have my own Magda the Rat. And then I can bounce his creatures with Lights Out. Shadows looked like his most threatening house. So I'm gonna just do this. Play Magda the Rat, so on play I steal 2. If she ever leaves play, my opponent steals 2. I'm gonna bounce those 2 creatures to get rid of his potential of killing her. I'm going to play my Naughty the Thief. Not worry about my Screech Bomb at all. And then I have 5 of 6 cards in Logos, so I'm going to be playing my Library Access next turn. See what I can get going. So Shelly, you were saying that you love Untamed. What about Kaylee? What's your favorite house? What's your favorite card? Favorite combo to get off? Anything like that? I'm curious. It's really cool what I've been seeing. A lot of players have a very specific house that they prefer. For me, the house that is my favorite, with a very close second. So my top one is Dis. Just massive control across the board. Amber control, board control, card control, just turn control in general. Very close second is Shadows. Just the ability to control Amber and do some really sneaky stuff. But it's really interesting with the 7 houses that exist. Everyone I've talked to has a very specific favorite house. Maybe not competitively, but just it's their most fun for them to play. But I'm going to play Logos here, see if I can get a good library access turn. So I'm going to play my Dexter. Draw into Shadows card. Sucks. Play Bat Drone. There we go. Effervescent Principle. Let's just go ahead and play it. Nope. I'm going to play a Harland Mind Lock here. I'm going to steal his... I'm going to steal his Headhunter. Put it on the left. I'm going to play Fogify so they can't fight. And that was a terrible library access. I drew 1 Logos card. But I'll end my turn there. And I took his Headhunter, just because I didn't want to have him have the fight to gain 1 Amber ability. But he's had... Last game he had a lot of out-of-hand damage, so you can probably kill my Harland Mindlock pretty easily. got my cat giving me the death glare through the door here. He's just gonna reap this Ganger Chieftain. Plays Anger. Ready and fight. So I played Fogify, which prevented him from fighting, so his Anger just readied a creature, and he was able to reap again. Oh, Sanctum is awesome. I love Sanctum. I've got some cool Sanctum decks that have a lot of house cheating. Sanctum is a crazy capture deck too, or crazy capture faction too. What do I want to do? I think I actually want to play Shadows here to drop a Shadow Self to protect my Harland Mindlock. Then I'm going to play a Nerve Blast to steal 1 and do 2 damage. Play a Bad Penny to the left here. Call that good. Dis is... If you really want to find out who are your real friends, just play a really strong house Dis against them, and if they still talk to you after the game's done, they're a good friend. I have a deck that in my Captain of Fungus deck, my house Dis has 2 Charettes, a Troubadour, all kinds of things to manipulate my board state and capture and control my opponent's Amber. I can keep an opponent off of a key in a good game for about 5 or 6 turns before they're able to forge a key if I'm drawn into my house Dis. I'm going to play Brobnar to play Tremor and stun his 3 Shadows guys. I'm going to play Fire Spitter to the left and build an Avalanche to be protected by a Shadow on the right. I don't want Headhunter to fight anyone actually, so I'm just going to reap everything. So this game is more demonstrative of what this deck does. It stalls my opponent out for the first few turns, and then it just skyrockets its abilities. Then my opponent's going to kneel his board out. I still haven't seen either Coward's End or Loot the Bodies. So I'm trying not to damage my opponent's creatures because I want them to be undamaged as best I can, so I can kill all of them through a Loot the Body or through a Coward's End. I don't think I can steal enough here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Just counting how much amber I can get from each house here. I think I actually want to play Shadows, so I'm going to go Shadows. I'm going to Reap with my Shadow Self. I'm going to Nerve Blast. The Shadow Self. Use Bad Penny to fight the Shadow Self. I'm going to play a Dodger to the right, just in case Bilgum Avalanche dies, and then I'm going to play a Ghostly Hand, just get some 2 amber. There's a Coward's End, so I'm still looking for a Loot the Bodies. I'm going to be drawn into some decent cards at the end of the game here. Killed my Shadow Self. I don't think I actually have read Bilgum Avalanche out loud. So she sits in play. She's 5 power, no armor. She's a creature giant. Well, they just killed her. After I forge a key, I do 2 damage to all of my enemy creatures. So it actually combats against. It's an anti-synergy to Coward's End, but her mixed with a Fire Spitter can kill a pretty large board. It would be 3 damage to everything. So I have multiple ways of board clearing, which is really fun because I don't have a lot of decks that are able to board clear. So I have a combo-y way through Bilgum Avalanche and Fire Spitter, and then a slightly conditional way through Coward's End. I think I'm going to end up playing a Logos turn. So I can play 5 of my 6 cards. But he has taken out a large part of my deck here. That's tough. I think I'm still going to play Logos, just to get these cards cycled. I'm going to play Effervescent Principle, get him out of Forge range, play Phase Shift. I'm going to Lab Work my Coward's End, save it for when I see that Loot the Bodies. I play my Subtle Maul to get us some discard going. And I'm going to play Experimental Therapy on my Dodger to give me some small amber control. So there's my Loot the Bodies. I do, however, have a Neurosiphon and a Dexter in hand, so I can take 2 from my opponent. Just outright kills my Dodger. He has 2 creatures that have poison, which is rough, because I played my Lights Out early. Look at my draw versus my discard here. Move this over so you guys can see it too. I won't hover over everyone. I'm just getting a peek of what I have and haven't seen here. So I'll be drawn into a Coward's End of Elder and a Shadow Self. So I'm going to play Logos. Won't take my archives. So I'm going to steal 1, draw a card. Play my Dr. Escatera. Play Dexter to capture 1, and then I'm going to use Screech Bomb to put my opponent out of forge range again. End my turn. And I've gone through my whole deck now. So what I want him to do is I want him to play some more creatures. He plays Shadows. He's going to just use Poison to kill my board out. He's just going to steal a bunch of Amber from it. I guess just 1, maybe 2 if he... He's just going to Reap. I don't feel great about using the Coward's End for 3. So I'm going to hit Shadows. Make him... I'm not going to take my archives. I'll make him discard a card. So he loses a Headhunter. I'm going to play Nerve Blast to get rid of his Moon Cursor. Get rid of one of his poison guys. Drop a Bad Penny and then put a Shadow Self to protect my Dexter a little bit. So I've been able to stall him out around turn 12. He still doesn't have a key. He's probably going to get a key here in the next turn or 2. There's not much else I can do. I'm drawn pretty blank. Unless he gets really far ahead, I've got Effervescent Principle to slow him, which isn't optimal, but he's going to play Logos. I remember his Logos house had a lot of creatures. So I hope he's dropping a bunch of creatures here, which will allow me to finally play my Loot the Body's Coward's End turn. Just gonna play Interdimensional Graft. I hope that's another Logos creature. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I'd gain 5 from that, from the kill. Which would put me in Forge. I think I want to slow play it, actually. So I'm going to play Logos. I'm not going to take my archives. I am going to lab work to put my Loot the Bodies in my archive with my Coward's End, so I know that combo will come together. I probably should have played lab work second, but whatever. Bring him back down under Forge. Play Dr. Escatera. And then Reap with Dexter. Let's just see. Wonder if he's going to abuse his board or if he's going to play more creatures out. Since I do have a 2-key lead, I can be a little greedy here. It might come back to bite me. But I don't remember too much of his deck being Amber Burst. He just has a lot of Amber consistency. The risk I'm running here is that he's going to fight some of my creatures and damage them, which wouldn't kill them with Coward's End. Reap with Dexter. Plays Lab Work. So he's got Skirmish on Quixo, so Quixo won't take damage at least. And he probably won't fight with Dr. Escatera, but we'll see. Yeah, he's gonna Reap. And he'll fight with Quixo. It's pretty no-duh. He'll take my Dexter out. Or no, probably take my Bad Penny out. We'll see. Okay, and I'm fighting my Shadow Self, just to get some damage on it. Plays another creature. Alright, so I'm not gonna keep prolonging this. I'm gonna play Brobnar. I'll take my archives. I'm gonna play Loot the Bodies. I have no Brobnar creatures to reap with, so I'm just gonna play Coward's End. Gets me 7 amber. I'm going to play a Valder to the right. Play a Smith, just for the bonus amber. Hold on to that Coward's End and end my turn. So I'm on 10 amber, in Forge for my, or in check for my 3rd key. He's playing Brobnar. I don't remember his Brobnar house really. I'm hoping he doesn't have a lot of the Brobnar amber control, because a lot of them are stipulated with if your opponent has 7 or more amber. Yeah, it's King of the Crag though, so all of my Brobnar creatures are at -2 power. Plays an Earthshaker. Another Earthshaker. His Brobnar house is beefy. It's 3 7 power creatures. Pingle Who the Noise. Yeah, seems like he doesn't have anything to steal here. Ooh, no, he's got Unguarded Camp. So he can capture 4, which would put me at Forge, or at check. Let's see if he can steal 1 more, because that might do it. If he can capture 4 and then steal 1 more. I preemptively typed GG and it's gonna kick me in the butt. Nope, he just didn't have enough. Alright, so that's demonstrated more of what this deck is supposed to do. Reason I actually like this a little more is, so Captain of Fungus has a ton of amber control, and it's super consistent. It does everything it wants to almost every game. Problem is, excuse me, if my opponents have a really big board presence, Captain of Fungus struggles. It doesn't have a guaranteed board wipe. The only board wipes it has, and it's not even a board wipe, it has, I can't remember the name right now, but it's in-house dis, and if your opponent has forged a key, you do 4 damage to everything. So it's more or less a board wipe, but against a really big board presence deck, And then I have a Neutron Shark, which all about luck of the draw. You can really count your cards, but you're also at the mercy of your card draw. So I like this deck more. Let me pull the deck list back up. I like the Vault Keeper a little more. It's not as strong with Amber production, super strong with Amber control, but it has the board control of Coward's End, and if my opponent has a huge creature base, I can punish them with the Loot the Bodies and Coward's End that I can set up. I don't have the best archiving mechanics, but I have the ability to be able to archive. I'm just gonna step out for like 2 minutes and just get something to munch on. Take some meds to clear my sinuses, and I'll be right back. So let me pop up a timer here. Alright, I will be right back.
They're here. Aliens. Extraterrestrials. It doesn't matter what you call them. They've arrived.
I'm back. I'm late. I know. Alright. Alright, shall we keep going? I got time for one, maybe two more. Let's see. I'm just gonna keep playing the same deck. Keep playing the Vault Keeper. See how many reps I can get out of it. And enjoy my snack along the way. I am first player of this match. I don't love this hand. I could make it work. I don't want to try and force it, so I'm just going to mulligan. Also don't really love this hand, but I'm going to play Shadows, I drop a Naughty the Thief, and my turn. I do have a ghostly hand out here early, which is nice, because early game, your opponent can't gain a ton of amber super quickly. So it's nice to be able to use that one amber that they can gain against them. I'm gonna play Brobnar. Play my Screech Bomb, play my Fire Spitter, and end my turn. I'm gonna hold on to Loot Bodies, try to be able to get a Coward's End out with it. If not, I can just use it and fight a couple things and gain some amber. Again, the problem with a lot of really strong combos is I notice a lot of players, myself included, get railroaded into trying to make that combo happen, and sometimes you end up hurting yourself way more than actually helping yourself, because you have blinders on, you're trying to make that combo happen, and no matter what you do, you're making suboptimal plays just to make one combo happen, which just really isn't the best thing to do. Like right now, I'm trying to get this ghostly hand. I'm just gonna end up playing it. My opponent has an ether spider, but I don't really care because I know I have board clears in my deck. So it's going to look like I'm not doing much because I'm gonna have 0 amber here as long as this ether spider's on the board. But I'm going to be gaining amber as much as I can, and it's just going to go on the spider, and then I'm ultimately just going to nuke it off the board with the Coward's End at some point. I am also going to play Logos. Let's play a Bat Drone. Play a Dr. Escatera and Effervescent Principle just to slow him down. Doesn't do much. It does put me down to 4 cards because my opponent does have a Succubus out. So Succubus is going to be my kill target for this double Nerve Blast. I don't like the decreased card draw. Then again, who enjoys decreased card draw? I feel like they'd be a glutton for punishment. But my opponent is flooding the board with creatures, so I am dying to see a Coward's End right now. Let's go ahead and play Shadows. Drop my Subtle Maul. Nerve Blast to steal 1, do 2 damage. Another Nerve Blast to steal 1, do 2 damage. Night of the Thief has nothing to steal, so I will just Reap. Call that good. And there's my Coward's End. So I've done 0 damage to my opponent. We'll see what they do in return here. Bat Drone probably to fight my Bat Drone. Oh no, played a Bat Drone. So they're just reaping. Crappy part is I don't have a ton of Amber or Amber Steel, but let's see what they're doing here. They Wild Wormhole to play a Dexter, so they have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Excuse me, 9 undamaged creatures, plus 5 captured. I'm gonna get 14 Amber off this Coward's End play here. So I'm gonna play Brobnar. Just gonna remove the stun because why not? Then we're gonna play Loot the Bodies. We're gonna drop a Coward's End. Boom, 14 Amber. Clear the board. Play a Bumpsy, make them lose 1. Call that good. So the reason, ooh, he drops an that was a good Effervescent. Halved my Amber, puts me to 7. I still can Forge, but I'm not nearly as far ahead as I could have been. So I'm gonna play Shadows, have him discard a card, Shadow Self, and then put a Bad Penny not next to Shadow Self because I like Bad Penny being able to return to my hand if I need. When you're playing Archon style, so there's Archon or Sealed. Archon, you have access to look at your opponent's deck list. You don't have to, actually. It's not required. However, if your opponent requests, you must allow them to. So I always look at deck lists when you're playing in a tournament. Why not? It's extra knowledge. My opponents would see that I have a Loot the Bodies and 2 Coward's Ends. The problem is they don't realize sometimes how easy it is for me to get that combo off because I can archive one of them, and because I have 2 Coward's Ends that would allow me to draw into that combo more often. I would love to have another loot double or a second Loot the Bodies. That would be so much Amber generation just from nuking the board. Oh man, what am I gonna do here? I think I'm going to play Logos. Neurosiphon, it's not going to do anything other than get me a bonus Amber. Then I'll play a Dexter to the left, Play a Harland Mind Lock to the right to take his John Smith. And then I'm going to phase shift just to play my Nadi the Thief. Call that good. So we got a spectator in the game. Cool. Usually when I host a game, I turn the spectator option off. I just don't like people having the potential to... they played their key to disc, so they board wiped. I don't like having opponents with the ability to look at hands. I've had a couple encounters where the person spectating spoils the opponent's hand for some reason, because cool, good for you, you're ruining a game that people are having fun. Just not my style. I'll stream, you guys can look at my hand, but you can't see what my opponent's doing, so it really doesn't matter. I will, however, I think that I need to play Robnar again. Let's just board clear, smash to stun himself, Pilgrim Avalanche, and end turn, yes. So you'll see this deck dances with a lot of chains. 2 cards in, that's 6 chains between the two. 2 Effervescent Principles, so that's 2 more chains. So the deck itself creates 8 chains throughout the game. So I think once this deck starts getting chained from Chainbound events, it's really not going to be that strong. We'll see. The library access might combat that. We'll just have to see as the chains play out. Let's see. I'm gonna play Shadows. Play a Bad Penny to the left. Play a Dodger to the right. Have him discard a card. So he loses an Ulig Megamouth, which I'm okay with because he has a Crystal Hive out here. I'm gonna end my turn. Problem is my opponent's going through their deck much faster than me. They're drawing a lot better hands, they're not having as many chains. And they're archiving quite a bit. Curious what they're archiving. I think it's logos. Excuse me. Nope, then they cycle a hand. Alright. Stay with Shadows here. Have him discard a card. A Reap. Dodger will fight. I'm gonna fight Succubus. And then end my turn. The reason I chose Succubus again is just because I don't like having the decreased hands each turn, especially when I'm creating enough chains against myself. My next target's gonna be Toxin. So I'm probably going to, depend on what happens here, drop the Shadow Self next to his Dodger, so he gets a couple fights where he's not actually taking the damage on himself. I place another Succubus. So I think this guy has 2, maybe even 3 Succubus in this deck, which feels awful. So he uses Life Ward. I can't play creatures. Flash Broken Dreams, my keys are +9 or +3. And he archives another card. Can't play creatures. I'm just gonna play Brobnar. Go to stun, Reap, and why not? Let's use my Screech Bomb. Make sure he can't forge this turn. So had I not killed that Succubus, I'd actually be down 2 cards this turn. So I'm happy that I did that. That Life Ward prevented me from playing or doing my Shadow Self Dodger combo, which I hope I can get off this turn. He is playing Logos, so he won't be playing Dis. I have no idea what the spectator's talking about, but okay. He plays Psychic Bug, so he gets to look at my hand, so he gets a little knowledge of what I might potentially be doing next round. It helps you sculpt your turn, especially if you play it first like he did. But he has a lot of cool archive mechanics. He did pick up his archive, so he was archiving Logos like I suspected. Turn off, there we go. I'm generally nice about people that misclick. I misclick all the time. Give people the benefit of the doubt. And I watch the chat pretty closely when I let people turn manual mode on. I've had 1 or 2 people try and slip some stuff by me, and then I immediately just leave the game. If they feel like cheating online, good for them. I don't know why people try and cheat, but whatever. Alright, so he's got 8 amber. Problem being... So I'm going to play Shadows here. I'm just going to let him have a key. I'm going to discard a card, leave with Bad Penny. I'm going to fight with Dodger to get rid of that Succubus. That damage gets redirected to my Shadow Self, so I can use Dodger quite a bit. At some point you just kind of have to give up on stalling someone, and at this point I reached that point. His tempo for being able to set the board is much better than mine right now. He's gone through his deck twice, I believe, or this is his second time through the deck. I haven't shuffled yet, so I am behind on seeing the cards I want. I'm going to be drawing most likely into a decent Brobnar turn here, which makes me hesitant to actually play Library Access right now. Don't quite know. Curious what's going on. I think I'll get 1 more fight out of Dodger. I'll probably attack the Charette here. Maybe the Bat Drone, actually. Yeah, so I'm going to play Shadows. Discard a card, Reap with Bad Penny, Reap with Shadow Self, and I'm going to fight with Dodger, because I can bounce 2 cards. I think I want to bounce Toxin and Bat Drone, so I think I'm going to fight one of the Dexters, because that'll still keep my Shadow Self alive. So let's do that. Then I will play Lights Out on Bat Drone and Toxin. Then I'm going to play Nerve Blast to kill this Psychic Bug. Call that a turn. So I'm going to check for my second key. He is on 3 amber toward his second key as well, so it's a fairly close game. He's going to play Dis, so gonna exhaust Lash here, make my keys cost 9, so I won't forge. He also plays a Schuler, so I lose an amber, or they steal an amber, sorry. They archive another card. Yeah, so it's going to put me off a key for another turn. Excuse me. I am going to play Brobnar. I'm going to play Tremor to stun Toxin, Schuler, and Dexter. Then I'm going to play a Valder to the right. I'm going to save Lomir Flamefist for if he gets to 7. And then I'm going to Reap Reap. And call that a turn. So I just went through my deck. I'm at exactly 36 cards drawn through the game. So I'll probably play a Brobnar turn here, or a Shadows turn. Probably a Brobnar turn, just to get cards out of my hand. And then that way I have access to the rest of my deck for a library access turn, and hopefully draw into more Logos stuff. And Logos is either in my discard or my hand here. So I'm going to play Brobnar. I am going to play Lomir Flamefist, even though my opponent doesn't have 7 or more, because I now have more creatures, which allows me to play Smith. And now I can Reap, and use Valder to fight the Bat Drone. And end my turn. So as always, thanks for checking out my stream, everybody. For those that have tucked in for the whole thing, it's turning out to be a grudge match, right? Or drudge match. And so this will be my last game for the night. As I mentioned at the start of the stream, my new schedule, I'm going to be streaming on Friday mornings now. So that'll be a longer stream than normal. Friday mornings I'm going to be streaming from about 9 to noon, Mountain Standard Time. So check me out then. That Friday stream is actually not going to start this week. It's going to start next week. So I'll be updating my Twitch page to show that stream once it actually starts. Alright, so I get my key. He wasn't able to pull me below 9. So he makes me spend all 9, but I have a pretty decent Logos turn here coming up. We'll see how it plays out. I'm going to play Library Access into an Effervescent Principle. So he loses 2 Amber, I lose 0. I'm going to play a Fogify, he can't fight. I'm going to play a Lab Work to archive this Loot the Bodies here. Let's play Harland Mindlock to steal his Dexter, put it to the right, and then I'm actually going to make his Dexter fight his Charette and kill them both. Because when I take control of that Dexter, I take the Amber on it. So if he were able to kill that Dexter, he would have gotten his Amber back, or the Amber that he captured from me to him. And I did not want that to happen. I don't want to gain a second chain, to be honest, so I'm actually just going to discard this Effervescent and then end my turn. Another pretty subpar library access, but I did get through a decent amount of my deck there. I was able to pitch 5 cards from my hand, which felt decent. Looks like my opponent's been archiving Mars. Yep. So this will be a pretty decent Mars turn, probably. Phosphorus Stars, they gain 2 chains and they stun everything that's not Mars. Hopefully they play a ton of Mars creatures, because I have the Loot the Bodies Coward's End combo again. So they play 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 6 creatures, it's worth a Coward's End. No question about it. Let's play Brobnar. Yes, I will take my archives. Gonna dump a Screech Bomb. Play Loot the Bodies. Dump a Coward's End. I gain 6 amber off that. And end my turn. So I'm at 9 amber. My opponent can make me spend all 9 and potentially steal 1 or capture a few. I don't know what he's holding. But it puts the pressure on them again. And I've got a full hand of Shadow, so I can dump my entire hand next turn too. They play a Wild Wormhole, so they're in Logos. Alright. Yeah, this deck, that one game where I didn't pay attention to my opponent having played Scrambler Storm, this deck feels great. It's not the strongest deck, but it has a lot of answers to a lot of stuff. My main mechanic here, obviously, being the Loot the Bodies and Cowards End combo. My opponent, it's not something you can play around easily, because if you hold back your creatures, you're innately limiting your ability to reap and gain amber, the amber swing. But if you overexert yourself, I'm just going to punish you by Loot the Bodies and wiping the board and then dumping my own creatures. So even if an opponent, even if an opponent knows I have this combo, because they're going to look at my deck list, it becomes a dance of, am I going to hold my cards and hope they don't have the combo? Or am I just going to try and rush and get stuff done before they get the combo to go? And then my Shadows house controls a lot of amber. Not a lot of efficiency, so this deck is at the mercy of my card draw, as you saw in the very first game where I got slaughtered with this deck. But then if I never got a really good library access turn, but library access helps me filter through my deck in light of the fact that I make 8 chains against myself if I play all of my chain cards. So definitely a deck I'm giving it a pretty real consideration for this weekend. Who knows, I'll probably make a terrible decision last minute and just play Captain of Fungus and then go 0-3. So I'll keep you guys posted. Again, next week I'll be streaming Wednesday and Friday. That'll be every week. If you like the content, go ahead and click follow. Also, hop on over to my YouTube. Link is on my page below the video. And I'm actually, the moment I sign off here, I'm going to archive this video into my YouTube archives. So check me out there too if you can't catch me live. Send me emails to thecrystalhivekeyforge@gmail.com. And if I ever decide to make my own Facebook, I'll also put that link down there. So I hope you guys enjoyed content. Catch you next time.
Give up on the battle. Come on out of your saddle. Let it out, show me who you are, Baby, don't you play